Sports.
ABC Sports presents live in its 30th season, the Professional Bowlers Tour. Today from Portland, Oregon, it's the $125,000 PBA Oregon Open. In our first match, you'll see three-time titleist Joe Salvemini of Oklahoma City. He'll face the 1990 Rookie of the Year, Brad Kiszewski of Buffalo, New York. That winner will go against Hugh Miller of Seattle, Washington. The semifinal match will feature Norm Duke of Albuquerque, trying to win his second title this year. Our tournament leader is trying to win his first title from the top seed, Tony Westlake of Edmond, Oklahoma. And that's our outstanding field of finalists for today's Professional Bowlers Tour telecast. The Professional Bowlers Tour has traveled south from Seattle to the City of Roses, Portland, for the $125,000 Oregon Open at Hollywood Bowl. You're looking at a city of 1 million people. The city itself separated by the Willamette River. Lots of shoreline, providing a wonderful waterfront setting. But the mightiest river of the two is the Columbia, which I'm on right now. Hello again, I'm Chris Schenkel. We're leaving the state of Washington's shoreline. That's right. This is a river, a long river that separates Washington and Oregon over there. Now, if you went 300 miles in the easterly direction, you'd come to the state of Idaho. If you went the opposite direction, the Pacific. 1806, Lewis and Clark explored the area. Hudson's Bay Fur Trading Post was established here. Well, that was in the past. Now let's get to the present. It's time for the finals now of the Oregon Open. Let's go to Hollywood Bowl, Mark, and meet my colleague, Nelson Burton Jr. See you.
Thank you, Chris Schenkel. The Columbia River Gorge, it's been said, is the most beautiful piece of real estate in the world. And they will get no argument from me. And not far from the Columbia River is Hollywood Bowl in the Hollywood district of Portland, Oregon. We're here for the 21st year. Now, last year, if history has anything to say about it, will tell us that this is going to be the highest scoring tournament of the year. Last year, the players averaged 241, and they've been shooting that type of scores so far this week. Now let's look at some of the players in the championship round. Brad Kiszewski against Salvemini, first match. Advantage Kazuki, averaged 251 on the championship pair, rolled a 300 game. The next match, Hugh Miller. He's a $100,000 a year player out here. He's really been struggling all year. He's chomping at the bit. The man to beat, though, is in the semifinal match, Norm Duke. He's already won this year. He's a #1 player on the Pro Bowlers Tour on average. He's tough. But our tournament leader, tough Tony Westlake. If it gets down to crunch time, the 9th or 10th frames, nobody is better in the clutch than Westlake. So there's a lot of action ahead. So let's see how the players are playing the championship pair. The oil down the lanes is right down 45 feet, and it's dry the last 15 feet. A very simple shot for tour players. The three right-handers are playing around the center, swinging out to the first arrow along the edge. Now, our two lefties are about the same line, starting around the center, out to the first arrow, into the 1-2 pocket. Chris Schenkel, a lot of money at stake.
Total of $125,000 with 18 of the winner, 95 runner-up, down to $4,500 for the loser of this first match, which will begin very, very soon. Immediately following the Professional Bowlers Tour telecast, the fight will begin the minute they go on the air. It's James Toney, the man that knocked out then-champion Michael Nunn, puts his title on the line against Reggie Johnson, the IBF Middleweight Championship. Plus, Wide World Today features the American Championship Racing Series with the Hollywood Gold Cup. All that live immediately following ABC's Professional Bowlers Tour. Okay, handshake, game one. And here is last year's Rookie of the Year, 6'3", 175 pounds, 25 years old, Brad Kiszewski of Buffalo. He's ready, Bill.
No question, Chris. He is ready. What a courageous shot for your first round and championship round on ABC television. He sends it wide and snaps it right in the pocket. He's sent Joe Salvemini a wake-up call.
Yeah, Joe Salvemini, Oklahoma City. Three-time winner. First of our two left-handers in the field today. bad break.
Wow, goes just a little bit high. The 6-8 split, the pin action's been very good here all week long. You see his arm swing a little bit inside out, then he pulls the ball right through this area, so it sends it a little bit high. The 3-pin goes to sideboard, doesn't take out the 6. Joe with a tough shot in the first frame.
All right. Salvemini down a quick 12 pins. But like the professionals often do, they bounce back following an error, open frame.
That's how we started last week. Danny Weissman started with a open frame, and he went on to win the tournament, Chris. So the first frame doesn't mean a whole lot, but you can't give it away. Now let's see how Salvemini's playing. He's standing about the middle, and he's going to drift a little bit to his right, swing the ball out around the first arrow. This is his shot.
Joe Salvemini, second telecast this year. He was fourth in the Tums Classic in Windsor Locks. Yeah, for Brad Kiszewski, his best finish this year was 17th in the Bud Light Classic, Sunrise, Florida.
Wow, right-hand lane hanging a little bit for him, leaves the 2-8-10. Very tough shot. 5-step delivery, pretty conventional. Wraps that ball a little bit behind his back, inside-out swing, wrist in good position. Excellent finish, just didn't get the desired result at the back end.
All right. Seemingly a very relaxed non-winner, this 25-year-old from Buffalo.
Kazuki, very well trained in college, just has an ideal type of setup and position. We'll check out how he's playing the championship pair. This left-hand lane hooking a little bit more than the right. He's going to start here. Now he's going to drift a little bit to his left, play a shot around the first arrow. Watch this shot.
Wasn't quite as courageous in that line, was he, Bo? But it worked.
You're right. And something to watch for. The big hook ball players such as Kazuki struggle a little bit in the early going all week long, and as the lanes tightened up or the oil carried down where there's less break, they improve. So a slight advantage in the early going to experienced left-hander Joe Salvemini.
Salvemini had a strike up. He was shooting in the right lane, leaving the 7-pin.
Something Joe complained about last night. As you see, he had a 300 game this week. He was carrying real well all week long, and then about the 38th or 39th game last night, he started leaving 7 pins. He had a little bit something to say about it. He carried very well in the last game and made the top 5.
Salvemini in a big error. 10 of his last 11 championship round appearances have occurred during the summer tour. Joe explains why he's struggled on the winter tour, and he's struggling there with that shot.
Well, I think most of the reason is because of the conditions. In the summertime, the conditions seem to favor my type of game, and the weather's nice. Get to stay in a little bit different places, play a little more golf. The wintertime is 16 straight weeks, and it's pretty much a grind. The weather's usually pretty tough, but mainly because of the conditions, they just don't allow me to get loose.
So Salvemini has bounced back again following an open frame, twice thus far, trailing by 12. We're in our first match. Salvemini, Kazuki after this.
Office is 200,000 acres of rugged woodland. You need a deodorant you can depend on. Men count on Old Spice to help prevent odor before it starts. It kills odor-causing bacteria on contact. 99%. That's effectiveness you can count on with the clean, classic scent of Old Spice. You bet. Old Spice deodorant, because prevention is the ultimate form of protection. Count on it.
Fat-free cereal. Truly, I can't imagine just how yummy that will be. Come on, can't we just have a little fun at breakfast? You know, have something with a little flavor to it. Yeah, something like this. Delicious. I like these.
Kellogg's cornflakes have always been fat-free.
Fat-free. Kellogg's cornflakes? Well, don't tell everyone. You'll just ruin it for them.
A good reason to taste them again for the first time.
We all like to keep our car looking new. That's why so many people use Armor All Protectant. Armor All cleans and shines the rubber, plastic, and vinyl. And it protects all those surfaces, too. So Armor All makes your car look like new and helps it last longer. And that makes you look pretty smart. Armor All, it keeps you looking good.
The Hollywood Bowl is in Portland, Oregon. It's an establishment of 48 beautiful lanes. We're now in our first match of 4 in the Oregon Open. This is Brad Kiszewski. Leading by 12 pins. Strike up can increase it.
Come on, baby.
High hit, and we're seeing everything today.
You're right, Chris, and unexpectedly, the ball is hooking so much for him on the right-hand lane. You can tell, come on, baby. He wanted to hook and ended up getting a very poor result. He's got a problem here. He has to get over on the right side, drive that 3-pin into the 4. That's the key part of the shot.
Thought he had it. Brad Kiszewski shares with us why he chose Wichita State to compete on the college level and how that experience influenced his game.
Well, I knew that Wichita State always had a quality program, and with their coach, Gordon Vatican, he has a great rapport with his players, and I just felt like going to another part of the country, as I'm originally from the East Coast, to bowl on different types of conditions, bowl against different types of competition, it would be best for my game.
That shot was much better for his game. I think he worked on that gum a little less on that last shot. Man, he's working on it, isn't he?
Kazuki showing a little bit of inexperience. Salvemini just giving him all sorts of room to play with. Salvemini been in the pocket all 4 frames, but has 2 opens, can now extend his lead to 12 with a strike in the 5th.
And all week I carried, not tonight. Come on.
Tells you the story, doesn't it?
Well, he also made the 7-pin most all of the week, and he missed it by a large margin there in the 3rd frame. Has to come up with a better shot here in the 5th.
Last year, Joe Salvemini was on 3 telecasts, finished second each time, El Paso, Tucson, and Fresno.
Salvemini has kind of a unique setup as he holds the ball in front of him. He cocks his left hand underneath the bowling ball, and that's one of the reasons he gets a little bit of a loop in his arm swing. Watch him as he sets up here. Watch his hand. See that wrist underneath the ball? It's easy to swing the ball behind your back like that. Trouble.
Why don't you carry over there?
All right. For Joe, it was his 3rd strike of the match.
And here's you see how he is playing the lanes. His ball's coming around the 2nd arrow. Then he's coming out here. And here's the line of Joe Salvemini into the 1-2 pocket. Best shot of the match by far.
Good artwork, Bo.
Salvemini did the artistry with a strike.
6.
Had a chance to go 8 pins up with a strike working.
Unusually, he's left the same type of combination 2 times in a row as he leaves the 3, 4, 6, 7. And once again, the object for him is to get the ball over in that 3-pin zone, drive the 3 into the 4, and he'll still only trail by 2.
Erie, Pennsylvania Community College product. Bowling there for 2 years on to Wichita State. Watch.
Boy, he really went to school on the shot he had in the 4th frame. Remember, he left the 3, 4, 6, 7, 10 in the 4th. He loves that reaction here of that split in the 6th. Missed it in the fourth, came back and made the combination in the sixth. He's back in the match, and he's pumped up. Trails by 2.
Come on, baby, one time.
Begging that baby to get into the pocket, and it did. We're in Portland, Oregon, a sports center in the Pacific Northwest. Good facilities as well.
All the rigmarole.
Face it, lots of places offer new tires.
I'm not going to hand my car over to just anyone.
But you gotta ask yourself, who's gonna back you better than Sears?
When they say it's guaranteed, it's guaranteed.
Right now, Sears SuperGuard 40 is at our lowest price of the season, only $21.88. Installed in just 60 minutes, 7 days a week. Come on, who's gonna back you better than Sears?
Here's to you, America, being strong, but coming through. We send our best to you. Nothing beats our best, but wiser. Nothing beats a fight. And we'll toast and cheer with the king of beers. Nothing beats a fight.
Undefeated James Toney defends his IBF middleweight title against Reggie Johnson. Plus the Hollywood Gold Cup. All live next on ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Exciting doubleheader on Wide World today. We have an exciting first match. A match that's had a little of everything. Perfection and then not so perfect. Joe Salvemini from Oklahoma City going against Buffalo's Brad Kiszewski. Salvemini leads by 2, can increase it to 12, a strike up 7th frame. High hit leading the 4-7. Joe in 16 career telecasts has lost his first game. Yeah, I was hoping you would continue talking. Anyway, he's lost his first game 11 times in 16 telecasts. Well done. Here's Bo.
Thank you, Chris Schenkel and Hugh Miller. We predicted very good scores out there, and all of a sudden these fellas are really struggling. What do you think?
Well, other than the fact that you put the jinx on them, I've been bowling tournaments here ever since I was in high school, and I know there's a certain speed and a certain angle out there that will carry in this house. I think I've found it, and hopefully I can hold on to it.
All right, we'll know in the next match, Chris.
Okay. Hugh Miller, Seattle, Washington.
Oh, how's
Crowd.
my day?
So Joe will try to cover the 9-pin. As Hugh Miller warms up off to our right, you'll hear the pin fall.
That was one of Joe's best shots, the solid 9, but he's still in the match. He shouldn't be discouraged. He leads by 1 pin, very fortunately, through 8 frames.
Joe Salvemini, 3-time winner on the tour, 11 years a member of the Professional Bowlers Association, headquartered in Akron, Ohio.
Key shot for Kazuki coming up. He needs to increase his ball speed or his loft over the line. He's been high on this lane. He can take the lead for the first time.
Come on.
All right, next Saturday on ABC's Professional Bowlers Tour, Bowling's Best. We'll try to bag the gold in Texas in the $130,000 El Paso Open. Coverage begins at 3 p.m. Eastern Pacific, 2 Central next Saturday. ABC Sports.
Left-hander Scott Devers, defending champion. Now Kazuki, key 9th frame. He's been hitting this lane very well. He needs to put the pressure on Salvemini.
Come on.
Very colorful rookie, non-winner. Rookie of the Year last year, winning a prize that's named for the longtime director of the Professional Bowlers Tour, Harry Golden.
Harry, a native of El Paso, where we will be next week. Now Salvemini needs to strike 9th frame.
Not for me. Guess I'm not doing about good enough today.
Well, he's really right or correct in his critiquing of himself. He's really only thrown one bad shot. That was the 7th frame. He's still struggling at a 170 pace, Chris.
Yes.
Spare here, 3 strikes in the 10th, 184. Kazuki's in the driving seat.
Now, Joe has won 3 times. His first 2 in 1983 in Florissant, Missouri, and Syracuse. Then he won in Austin in 1987. He's had that first game jinx. We hope that he'll get rid of it.
I think a lot of it has to do with a little bit bad luck today, Chris, and then what he wants to look at after he looks at the tape, saying he does not win this match, but it's really immaterial, is to work on that loop in the arm swing. It's a little bit more under pressure, but right now he can't worry about that. He's got to go with what he's got going now. That's it. Best he can shoot is 173. The one thing that Kazuki coming up has to guard against is the gutter ball. You can see how wide he's swinging out, and we don't have to reiterate how many balls we've seen in the channel this year, i.e. 2 of them by Del Ballard, 1 last week and 1 in the Fairlanes Open.
Very disappointed 35-year-old from Oklahoma City. All right, Joe. 173. You can do better than that. But that's it for today and $4,500, Bo.
Yep, not a bad game. Kazuki went to the side, even though this is his first championship round appearance on ABC television. Went to the side, checked the scoreboard. I'll be very surprised, Chris, if he flirts with that outside line. Almost down the middle would be the place to go, because it doesn't even need a mark. Just keep it on the lane.
That was better angle.
All right. Flirting a bit, this guy. A lot of courage. So he will go against Hugh Miller. ABC Sports presentation of the Professional Bowlers Tour will return after this message and a word from our ABC station.
The excitement of the Pan Am Games begins August 3rd on ABC Sports.
Here I am, a pillar of the community. And I love Kellogg's Frosted Flakes.
Brave adults challenge the notion that Frosted Flakes is just a kid's cereal.
In business meetings, I look around and wonder, am I the only one?
Those sweet, crunchy flakes and a splash of cold milk. What could an adult like better for breakfast?
I'm crazy about the taste. Hey, I got nothing to hide.
It's easy to see. Frosted Flakes have the taste adults have grown to love. They're great.
If your minivan needs brakes, come to Midas. You get trained technicians, guaranteed quality parts, a good price, and a lot of value. For brakes done right, bring your minivan to Midas. Nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
No better way to face the day.
The morning belongs to Skin Bracer Aftershave. Its cool, brisk tingle really gets you going. And what a great scent. Skin Bracer.
No better way to face the day. Find it.
Saturday, is he a notorious bank robber or a nervous Robin Hood?
I'm a teacher, that's all. I'm no criminal.
The Young Riders Saturday.
A perfect game starts with a perfect equipment, and Bowler Supply is right up your alley. Select from bowling balls such as Vector, Hammer, Thunderbolts, and more. Personalized fitting and custom drilling to improve your game. Check out the colorful selection of bags, shoes, and apparel. With a pool player, rack them up on a new billiard table. Choose from in-stock tables or have one custom crafted to complement your decor. We stock accessories, too, for all your billiard needs and the largest inventory of bowling supplies in Central PA. Visit Bowler Supply, 401 Carlisle Avenue, York.
Okay, this is how it is. Minolta comes out with a new coffee. So does the competition, but adds a thingamajig. Minolta now adds a thingamajig and a whatchamacallit. Soon, coffee is as sophisticated as a satellite.
It just went boof.
Okay, the cat's out of the bag. All copiers can go boof. But if it's a Minolta, we'll fix it before you even knew it went boof. Now, if you call the other guys with a problem, they'll be out fishing. In conclusion, we're better than they are. Thank you.
WHTM TV 27, Harrisburg.
The Pro Bowlers Tour. Brought to you by Kellogg's. The best to you each morning. By Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. And by Sears Auto Center. You gotta ask yourself, who's gonna back you better in Sears?
Back again in the city of Roses, Portland. Our first match has ended. Kazuki has defeated Salvemini 189 to 173. Okay. So now Hugh Miller steps in and goes against Brad. And this is our second match of the afternoon as our 5 bowlers, after a grueling schedule here during the week, Bo, have made it to the finals, and one will get the top prize of $18,000 today.
42 games. Tournament started with practice and Pro-Am on Tuesday, qualifying Wednesday, Thursday, top 24 finals Thursday night and Friday. Now we're down to the second game in the championship round.
I'd get a Brooklyn in the first match, his victory, where he shot a 189 to Salvemini's 173.
Brad, with that big hook ball, just has to give it room. Have to trust the ball. There's no pull area on the Pro Bowlers Tour, but there's some swing area out there if you want to use it.
ABC has been televising in Portland back-to-back weeks. A week ago, Portland kart race. Michael Andretti, the winner, as seen on ABC, and now here the Professional Bowlers Tour. Hugh Miller makes an impressive beginning.
Hugh Miller, a nice conventional style. Short swing, very under control. See, he doesn't have the loop in his swing that Salvemini had. Inside out, just around that first arrow. And he knocked all 10 pins down. Remember, he said he had a little secret. We'll look for it.
And a 4-7-10 won't divulge the secret yet.
Not on that shot, anyway. He has to get his ball over in the left-hand side, and what he has to do is drive that 6-pin over in the 4-pin over into the 10.
All right. Well done.
Boy, he just nicks the 10-pin. Watch this 4-pin. Just slips on the back of the 10 and drives it forward. Great shot in the second frame.
6 strikes in his victory. Brad Kiszewski of Buffalo. Saw some extraneous moving off to the right. Actually, it was Norm Duke who was over there practicing. Norm taking a little move over there, unintentional, I might add.
I agree, Chris. Another makeable split. Get the ball over in the left side there and drive that 2-pin into the 10.
Hurried shot, attempt for conversion by Brad Kiszewski.
You see his ball just sliding by the 2-pin. Now what Kazuki must do here to get back in the match, because there is a good scoring environment out there, is straighten his ball out. When you're a big hook ball player like Brad, when your ball is going highlight, that's where he's been. It's time to move to the right, throw it harder and straighter, and take that big break point out of it. That's what he must do to stay competitive today.
Brad Kiszewski, non-winner from Buffalo.
Here's an opponent that knows that Brad Kiszewski is lost. Hugh Miller just has to play within himself. Leads by 14.
Leaving a 7-pin, the 34-year-old professional who's had a most unusual year. His best finish thus far, 19th in the Firestone.
You see how Hugh Miller is playing the lanes. He's starting the ball right in this area and taking a break point right in there. And he has to go on out there.
All right, spare. Spare in the third. Hugh Miller, one of the best conditioned athletes on the tour, outlined for us his training regimen on and off the tour.
Well, Bo, I like to run. Nothing too heavy, maybe 15 or 20 miles a week, 4 or 5 times a week. I like to ski in the winter. Unfortunately, our bowling schedule doesn't allow me to do that as much as I like. I used to be into weights a little bit, but I got out of that. I felt I was getting too bulky, so maybe some light weights, some running, some stretching, watch your diet, practice your game, and you'll be on your way for success on the tour.
Very interesting guy, Hugh Miller from Seattle. Tell you more about him later as he goes against Brad Kiszewski.
No better way to face the day. When the sun comes up and I'm feeling fine, 'cause the AM surely is my favorite time.
The morning belongs to Speed Stick. It's what more men reach for. To prepare, to prevent, to protect. Speed Stick, 110% protection.
No better way to face the day. No better way to face the day.
Speed Stick, 110% protection.
Who needs all the rigmarole?
Face it, lots of places offer new tires.
I'm not going to hand my car over to just anyone.
But you gotta ask yourself, who's gonna back you better than Sears?
When they say it's guaranteed, it's guaranteed.
Right now, Sears SuperGuard 40 is at our lowest price of the season, only $21.88. Installed in just 60 minutes, 7 days a week. Come on, who's gonna back you better than Sears?
There's nothing passé about this event. Don't pass up the $130,000 El Paso Open on ABC's Pro Bowlers Tour next Saturday.
Look forward to our return to El Paso. Marty Robbins, the late Marty Robbins' favorite city. Okay. Here in Portland, Brad Kiszewski.
Oh, that's disgusting.
He's trying to cut Hugh Miller's lead to 3 pins, but has left the 6-10. Erie, Pennsylvania Junior College. As you look at the 6-10 and Wichita State. More and more collegiate bowlers being successful on the tour. His Brad was right there, marking with a spare following a strike of the previous frame. Okay, Bo.
Thank you, Chris. Norm Duke, those players look lost out there, and we thought there'd be a great scoring environment.
I'm pretty lost too, Bo. I'm just going to take the attitude, let's just throw the gunner. I'm just going to throw some heat and hope I can get 220 or 30 and see what happens.
Good adjustment by Norm Duke. Let's see how he does. When the big hook ball doesn't work, throw it hard and straight. Kazuki's coming up. He has to come back.
All right. Brad Kiszewski, won a lot of fans here, had 2 of the 11 300 games bowled here during competition. Brad Kiszewski. Now, Hugh Miller. Won 14 of 16 matches en route to 3rd place. With shots like that. Coming up next, ABC's Wide World of Sports presents a live championship bout. Undefeated James Toney, the man that knocked out Michael Nunn to win the title, puts his on the line now against Reggie Johnson. And the American Championship Racing Series continues from the West Coast, the Hollywood Gold Cup. Both live, ABC Sports. Big 3-bagger now for Hugh Miller.
Interesting point by Hugh Miller. He said he had a little different breaking point. You could see it from this camera angle. He's starting the ball about the 10th board, swinging it out to about the 5th board. He trips out the 6th, 8th. That breaking point's so important. He's got Kazuki on the ropes.
Hoping for that double, to no avail, leaving the 2, 4, 8, 10.
There's a way to make this split because the 4-pin will help you out. As you see him hanging the ball way out on the edge, you can get the ball between the 2, 4 and have the 2-pin actually deflect off the 8. You have to play a great big hook. Let's see if he takes a chance.
A Well, that gives him 92 through the 6th frame.
Struggling, but Rise smile. And going back to that 2-4, 8-10, for the players at home that may leave that, you need to get the 2 into the 4, the 4 bounces into the 8. We'll see it one of these times in the championship round. For Kazuki, trails by 47 pins, has a possible 2-12, but he's got to get some strikes.
Now it's a 3-6-10.
Well, another fairly tough spare. Cross lane, he'll straighten the ball out. 3-6. You get it straight across, get the ball in this area, let the ball deflect into the 10.
Okay, spare for Kazuki in the 7th, trailing by 47. We'll be back after this.
Shine a light on you, shine a light on me. Keep your body light shining for everyone to see. Shine a light on this, shine a light on that. Oh, shining all the others is with Bud Light.
When you're looking good, you want Bud Light. The clean, fresh taste won't fill you up and never let you down.
You can taste it, you can feel it. You know you got it right. Everything else is just a light. Keep your body.
What was that?
What was what?
I heard a noise.
Oh, it's not Nani.
Oh. There it is again.
What?
It's that noise again.
Will you go back to sleep? I told you, it's not Nani.
There's no mistaking that nut and honey taste. Crisp flakes of corn smothered in sweet honey and roasted peanuts.
Now I suppose that was nut and honey.
Nope.
Kellogg's nut and honey.
That was the milk.
Crunch.
Undefeated James Toney defends his IBF middleweight title against Reggie Johnson, plus the Hollywood Gold Cup. All live next on ABC's Wide World of Sport.
Two very young, talented bowling executives, proprietor Mark Frank, who was driving the boat on the Columbia for me yesterday, and Alan Stanford, who's the general manager.
Great bowling center here, Chris, and once again, we expected a great scoring environment, and unfortunately, it looks like the PBA, who oil the lanes, have made it very tough for the players, but this man has a commanding lead.
So Hugh Miller has left the 8th pin. Donna Gilligan will become Hugh's bride in October. Fiancé, congratulations to the pair.
You could get some honeymoon money here. He's got this match well in hand, a tough opponent coming up in the semifinal.
All right, Hugh, his grandmother, Stella Urquhart, has a beautiful ranch near Great Falls, Montana. Working ranch, that is. Missouri River bow, which you're familiar with, goes right through it. And there is a marker there of the Lewis and Clark expedition with special emphasis on the Native American who guided them, Sacagawea, which earlier in the show you saw a bronze of her, which is here in Portland. I'd like to have gone on that trip, Bo, back in time.
You're right, Chris. As Hugh Miller, he really has the line down. He's got it right here. Watch, he gets to a break point right here. And he was talking about he has a secret line. Actually, he's starting the ball a little quicker towards the 1-2 pocket than the other left-handed player, Salvemini. And watch how this ball drives all 10 pins in the pit. Ideal. Chris, you hit the head pin and you get 4 pins. I have never seen that on ABC television in the 17 years I've sat here, and yet it's makeable. He made that type of shot earlier in his first match. He's got to get the ball over to the left side. Watch it just cut out the heart. The 1-3-5-8. See you later. Good try.
Excellent, excellent try. Kazuki going against Hugh Miller. Hugh Miller, who finished 3rd overall. Kazuki 4th, and in the first match he defeated Joe Salvemini 189 to 173.
Brad, a potential 175. Looks very calm, actually. That's just a lot of his college training is showing up right here.
That's at least 3 Brooklyns today.
Well, he's taking in a good banging, too. He's taking a little chiding from his roommate, Tommy Baker, a multi-champion who's standing off to the side. Hugh Miller, he's just trying to stay zeroed in. He's got another tough opponent coming up in bowling's #1 guy, Norm Duke. That's smash.
Hugh showing beautiful form and class here on this difficult championship pair today.
Well, it looks difficult, Chris, but it's like a golf putt. If you play the putt incorrectly or read it, you'll never make it. And Kazuki just hasn't played the lanes properly. Miller's showing it how to do it down and in, a little bit straighter shot.
All right. That's his second three-bagger of this is first match of the afternoon, and as Nelson indicated, that Norm Duke will be the opponent next, and then our tournament leader, Tony Westlake. All right. Well, Donna, that's what your fiance does, and extremely well. Over the years, 12 years as a PBA member, he's won 5 titles. He won last year in Fresno. So it's a big 248 victory for Hugh Miller of Seattle. He'll meet Norm Duke. In today's tip of the week, Bo talks about proper etiquette on the lanes. Watch and listen.
ABC Sports Bowling Tip of the Week is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately?
On today's bowling tip, I'd like to talk about 4 areas of etiquette. If properly followed, will make the game much better for everyone involved. The first one is being ready to bowl. As one player makes his shot, you be ready to get up on the approach as soon as he or she comes off that approach. That'll speed the game up, make the scoring much better for you and more enjoyable for everyone. The second area is a no-no. We don't want food or beverage down in the settee area. Sooner or later, somebody's bound to spill something, make the approaches sticky, and often cause problems for everybody on both teams. The third area is when to bowl. I recommend that you look 1 lane to the left and 1 lane to the right. When you see those lanes open up, you get up on the approach, take your time, set your shot, don't rush it, and then go ahead and fire away. The last area involves interference. Stay on your own approach after you throw the shot. Don't interfere with one of the other players. This could cause injury and major problems. So if you'll just follow these 4 areas of etiquette, we'll find that the game is much more pleasurable for everyone involved.
Whose romance with the road is rekindled with each sunrise. Beautiful mornings begin at 8. Super 8 Motels.
No better way to face the day.
The morning belongs to Skin Bracer Aftershave. Its cool, brisk tingle really gets you going. And what a great scent. Skin Bracer.
No better way to face the day. Find it.
The results are in. Thompson's House and Deck Stain waterproofs better than even the leading brand's premium stain. Because only Thompson Stain contains Thompson's Water Seal. It waterproofs and beautifies in one easy step. Thompson Stain. Seal water out, seal color in.
It's a symbol of security for millions of Americans. A document that protects your rights in all 50 states. And an inspiration for all who honor it. It's the Goodyear Promise. Available only with Goodyear Certified Auto Service. It includes a nationwide warranty that promises we'll fix your car right or fix it again free at 2,700 locations nationwide. Good tires, good service, good people, Goodyear.
For those of you looking for the big taste of Miller Genuine Draft, in a light beer, we proudly present cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft Light.
also available in 12-ounce sizes.
Strike out to score more.
I just can't seem to find the pocket.
Call 1-800-4ABC-VCR and let Bo Burton's instructional home videos, Score More, help you solve your bowling problems.
Here's what the pros do.
Learn Bo's valuable tips on performance, practice techniques, body conditioning, and equipment selection, and Score More. Only $24.98 plus $3 shipping. To order Bo's home video, call 1-800-4ABC-VCR.
Hollywood Bowl is the scene of the PBA Oregon Open. In our first match today, Brad Kiszewski defeated Joe Salvemini 189 to 173. Then Kazuki met this left-hander named Hugh Miller from Seattle. 248 to 164, 9 strikes for Hugh. Hugh now will go against Norm Duke, originally from Fort Worth, bowling out of Albuquerque now. In our semifinal match, the winner to meet Tony Westlake for the title. Hollywood Bowl, standing room only crowd. They love bowling in this area, a great sports city. Our next two stops, we move to El Paso. Week from today, finals of the El Paso Open, and then July 20th to Wichita for the Wichita Open. That's the 20th. Big field today, 159, Bo.
Chris, pretty good scores. 210 average this week. Top 24, 221. That's very high. Our president, Mark McDowell. Hamilton, 7th place. Good-looking player. Ernie Schlegel, the veteran, 3,300. Dave D'Entremont, the power guy, 3,000. Bowler of the year, Monicelli, the wizard, Ozio, 2,600. Purvis Granger looking very good. Beefcake, Brian Voss back in action. Deadeye, Steel Smith, top player there, 15th. Bowling's all-time money winner, Marshall Holman, Ryan Schaefer, 17th. Veteran Gary Dickinson, Don Janello, wife expecting a child next month. Lambert, another college player, Dennis Horan Jr., 21st. Claire Bouvier, his mother won the U.S. Open Women's in 1967, and McCune round out the top 24.
All right, all this happening in Portland, Oregon, and now into the semifinal match. Two veterans, Norm Duke shooting first, 8 years, 2 titles, #1 average man on the tour, 219.56. Week's average higher.
And his league average back at home, 232. So, pretty tough player.
Norm Duke.
See him with a tough shot to 4-8. And put all this scoring in perspective. Let's say what we thought last year, a 241 average for the whole championship round. All week, 243. After 4 games today, the players 193. Off 50 pins a game.
Okay, it's fair. Well, it's the first frame for him now, Hugh. Hugh is one of 5 Pacific Northwest bowlers who were in the final of 24, and Bo pointed them out. Ernie Schlegel, 8th. Hamilton, 7th. Holman, 16th. And Bouvier, 23rd. All right.
Well, the only game even close to respectable today has been the 248 of Hugh Miller's, and we'll see how he's playing the lanes. He says he has a secret. I'll tell you, his ball's passing along out in that area. He's going to slide around the 10th board on that. Yes, he's going to drift a little bit. Be like this, out to this, and look at that break point.
Hugh Miller and the Pacific Northwest, an area producing Earl Anthony, who's at the Bowling Proprietors Convention in Louisville. Thus, not here. His home is right near to Portland now.
A retired Earl Anthony, 41 national championships. Now here's numero uno right now on the Pro Bowlers Tour, Norm Duke.
Youngest player to win a PBA title at 18. He's all of 27 now.
6-step delivery, starts with that right foot. Ideal profile, high swing, look at that steady head. And watch how steady he hits the line. You talk about on balance. That's what we look for in bowling. Absolutely lock solid. A little bit different position on the lane for Norm Duke. Obviously, he's a right-hander. He's going to start in this area, walk almost perfectly straight. His trajectory will be right around the first arrow.
Norm's 5th telecast of the year. 3rd at Fairlanes, 4th at Johnny Petraglia Open, won the Bud Light in Parma, Ohio, 2nd in the PBA National. What a year. $84,000 richer as a result. Hugh Miller, only $9,000 this year, $103 last year. $1,000, that is.
Well, the action is picked up as Hugh Miller asks for a re-rack. This man has been very steady all the last 4 years. As you see him just rip the rack apart. Starts with 3 in a row, keeps the pressure on Norm Duke. And since turning 30, Hugh Miller has been so steady. In 87, he cashed 17 out of 25, 88, 15 out of 21, 89, 15 out of 22. 1990 made $103,000 as he cashed 22 out of 29. He's breaking out of his 1991 slump right now.
All right, leaving a 4-7. And last year, 3 seconds. In Rochester and Edmond and in Las Vegas. Tremendous talent.
Watch how Hugh Miller spots. He is a spot bowler, and he spots right, he looks down at where he stands, and he looks right about the foul line. He doesn't look way down the lane. Look at how low his head is. Then he picks it up.
Hugh Miller leading by only 8 pins. We're in our semifinal game. We'll have more. Don't go away.
Fat-free? I can't wait to taste this. What's it called? A bit of celery? Box of nothing? I'm sick of watching out for fat. To me, everything good has fat in it. Now, you're not telling me these are fat-free, because these are some delicious flakes.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes have always been fat-free.
Fat-free? Kellogg's Corn Flakes? Will take the ribbon from my hair.
A good reason to taste them again for the first time.
When your office is 200,000 acres of rugged woodland, you need a deodorant you can depend on. Men count on Old Spice to help prevent odor before it starts. It kills odor-causing bacteria on contact. 99%. That's effectiveness you can count on with the clean, classic scent of Old Spice. You bet. Old Spice deodorant, because prevention is the ultimate form of protection. Count on it.
The beauty, the danger, the excitement, and the tradition of one of the world's greatest races, the Tour de France. Coming in July on ABC Sports.
Tour de France, ABC. Now it's professional bowling. Norm Duke trailing by 8 pins. However, that can change. He has a double up, 4th frame. He leads by 2 pins. What a battle as we go to bow.
Thank you, Chris. Our tournament leader, Tony Westlake, championship round here in 1990. You averaged 260 for 3 games. You averaged 245 or 251 this week. What seems to be the problem out there on championship here? They're only averaging 193 going into this game.
I think Brad played the lanes a little wrong. He should have straightened the ball out a little bit, and he would have been better off. I think Norm's going to bowl a real good game this time, and they're a little tighter than they were all week, and you need to just square it up a little bit.
All right, the lanes are a little different. You got to make an adjustment, Chris.
All right, and Norm Duke hanging it on the edge and leaving the 10 pin on the left lane. Big high swing, a very deliberate bowler, but balanced. Imagine that. His 5th telecast, 1991. He won the Bud Light in Parma, Ohio. One of the native Texans that have been prominent on Professional Bowlers Tour. Years and years and years.
Hugh Miller sends it real wide. And a couple of points here when we're talking to Tony Westlake. He says you have to square it up. What a pro means by that statement is you have to straighten the ball a little bit more towards the pocket. You can't send it wide just like Hugh did. So square it up means throw it a little bit straighter. And you take out Hugh Miller's 248 last game. They're only averaging 175 going into this game. Very bad.
Semi-final match here in Portland, Oregon. Coming up next, ABC's Wide World of Sports. Undefeated James Toney, the champ, puts his title on the line against Reggie Johnson. And in addition to that live coverage of the championship bout, more live coverage. The Hollywood Cup, Gold Cup, Another part of the American Championship Racing Series.
And at Hollywood Bowl, Hugh Miller, who seemed like he was lined up last game, struggles right now. He's been high, light, high his last 3 shots. He now trails in the batch by 4 pins.
Well, let's see. We're at the Hollywood Bowl, the Hollywood Gold Cup race coming up. Any hunches as a result of the 2?
Well, I have a hunch that Norm Duke's going to win this race right here.
All right.
And as far as the horse race goes, Chris, I'll give you a couple. You got to go with the favorites. Farm Away and Summer Squall, if he's in shape, could be awfully tough.
All right, Slick.
The grip of Norm Duke. The full fingertip. He just inserts his fingers down to the first knuckle, spreads that index finger for feel. Leads by 4.
5 feet 6 inches. Norm Duke explains why he's been absent this spring and summer despite enjoying a tremendous year.
I get stale pretty quick. After a couple of weeks in a row, I just get to where I can't think, and I don't put forth my my best effort. So after a couple of weeks off and get back to where I really care, then that just helps me, especially as strenuous as the schedule's been this year.
Duke this year has won 84,000 watch.
What a terrific break. The head pin goes to sideboard, comes back and takes out the 2-8.
Okay, semifinal match has a long way yet to go. We'll bring it to you, but first, these messages. Smilin' Norman.
Maybe the reason more people switch to Glidden than any other paint in the last 5 years is because we've got the color they're looking for. Glidden, a better way to paint. And during America's favorite paint sale, not only do we have the colors you're looking for, we've got the prices you're looking for. America's favorite paint sale on America's favorite paint. Glidden.
No better way to face the day.
The morning belongs to Skin Bracer Aftershave. Its cool, brisk tingle really gets you going. And what a great scent. Skin Bracer.
No better way to face the day. 5 minutes.
A1, it's how steak is done.
There's nothing passé about this event. Don't pass out the $130,000 El Paso Open on ABC's Pro Bowlers Tour next Saturday.
Mike McGrath, 1965 champion, won his very first tournament. Mike was only 19. He was going to college at Chico State. Hall of Famer in the audience today. Now watching another fellow southpaw trailing by 14, Hugh Miller, 7th frame.
You had a spare working fiancé down at Gilligan this October. You wearing the shades?
Here you go. You see how he rolls it here on the left lane, goes down through the second arrow. Watch the break point. Ball just follow it right on into the pocket. Watch this. Bang. You know, you haven't seen the right-handers get many taps today, Chris, yet the left-handers. Salvemini had a couple of solid 7s, a solid 9. Hugh Miller a solid 7 in a critical stage right here. It's just kind of funny that the break point on the left side isn't working today to carry the pins out.
And remember, after 2 telecasts in the Pacific Northwest, we move to El Paso next week, bringing you the finals of the $130,000 El Paso Open.
The most versatile player, in my opinion, on the Pro Bowlers Tour right now. Norm Duke, he can throw it hard, he can throw it slow, he can hook it, he can throw it straight, he can play in and out, and he's got the lead.
So he left the 2-pin.
But you have to maintain your form under pressure. He cut that ball off very quickly. You see his follow through, his right hand's already down right after he leaves the ball. If he extends through that shot, that means he's more relaxed with that follow-through, holds that follow-through, he'll get that ball to finish.
Coming in July, ABC Sports begins month-long coverage of one of the world's most prestigious sporting events. Three-time winner Greg LeMond defends his title against an elite international field in cycling's greatest race. Tour de France begins next Saturday with a special report on ABC's Wide World of Sports, followed the next day with a 1-hour ABC Sports special.
Now for Norm Duke, going at a 2:28 pace, Hugh Miller scoreboard reveals he has a possible 2:35. It's down to the 9th and 10th frames.
Just a beautiful, beautiful shot.
He sits down and says, Hugh Miller, you've got to do it now because I'm in control. Huey needs some strikes.
There's one.
Hugh Miller, a proven clutch player. His first 6 matches in ABC television competition through 1985, he won them all, and most all of them were by performing in the 10th frame. He needs a strike near to cut the lead of Dukes down to 3. Oh. Boy, oh boy. You could, his look on his face will tell his disappointment. He says, I cannot roll it any better than this. Look at those eyes down at the target. Steady. See that follow through go all the way through? Relax. Tough break. Solid 7.
Hugh Miller with a 2:48 in his victory over Brad Kiszewski, who shot a 164 now against Norm Duke.
Duke, who usually doesn't watch his opponent, is watching because he knows that he's going to need 9 pins or less on 2 balls to win. So there's not much strategy here.
.215 for Hugh Miller.
Norm Duke, 9 pins on 2 balls to go ahead and meet his tough opponent, Tony Westlake. Tough Tony, our tournament leader. The full approach, 6 steps. All he needs, 9 pins.
Okay, we have a winner going against Tony Westlake. Norm Duke will have the final score. We're in Portland, the city of roses. You know, what a wonderful way to gain fame. City of Roses. A word from our ABC station now.
Freedom's the one.
Only one gum leads the way when you've got dental work, and that's Freedent. Freedent won't stick to your dental work, so you can be confident chewing it. And because it also moistens your mouth and freshens your breath. Freedent's in a class by itself.
Freedom's the one that took the stick out of gum, and Freedent moistens your mouth. Yeah, moistens your mouth and freshens your breath while you chew.
Non-stick Freedent moistens your mouth and freshens your breath.
Everyone calls me father. And I love a kid's cereal.
Brave adults wrestle with the notion that Kellogg's Frosted Flakes is just for kids.
I work with tigers. I never thought I'd love one.
That delectable frosting, that incredible crunch. No wonder adults never outgrow the taste.
Oh, I'm guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
It's no crime. Frosted Flakes have the taste adults have grown to love. They're great.
Cops on a new beat, protecting the neighborhood by becoming a trusted part of the neighborhood. It's reducing violence. Peter Jennings on ABC's World News Tonight next week.
On the next MASH.
You should have heard what he said about you after OR.
Oh?
When he found out his record player was broken, he said, no problem. He'd just con you out of yours.
BJ gets Charles and Hot Lips at each other's throats.
How dare you think you can con me with shiny beads and shallow flattery?
And what if they should kill each other?
I can't begin to tell you how I feel about that.
On MASH.
Tonight at 11:30 here on 27 WHTN.
If you want the most trouble-free compact car, this is the car you want. Toyota Camry.
If you want Family Circle's Import Family Car of the Year, this is the car you want. Toyota Camry. If you want the family wagon with the lowest repair cost and the highest resale value in its class, it's Toyota Camry. And if you want your Camry at a bargain price, this is the time. Camry time. Your time for Camry savings with big factory-to-dealer incentives. It's Camry time. See your Toyota dealer today for the best Camry deal going.
Behind the scenes of the Oprah Winfrey Show, Monday night at 6 on 27 News.
From TV One in New York, here's Frank Gifford.
We'll return to today's final match in a moment. First, a reminder, coming up next on ABC's Wide World of Sports, live from Las Vegas, undefeated James Toney defends his IBF middleweight title against Reggie Johnson. We'll also have a report on Mike Tyson's victory last night against Razor Ruddock. Plus, the American Championship Racing Series continues with the running of the Hollywood Gold Cup. You'll see it live from Hollywood Park. Let's go back to Chris Schenkel in Portland. Chris?
Now how our tournament has gone. Kazuki 189 to 173, low scoring game, and match number 1. Then Hugh Miller ignited a bit with a shooting at 248 to Kazuski's 164. Going into the semifinal game, Norm Duke defeating Hugh Miller 232 to 215. So now it will be Norm Duke against Oklahoma's Tony Westlake. And though always good to come back to Portland, Oregon, where bowling fans are numerous, and here at the Hollywood Bowl, I think they're a little surprised by some of the scores today.
Well, Chris, they're obviously disappointed, so are we. Last year they averaged 241 in the championship round. The players averaged 243 on this pair during the week, and yet 203 today. And basically there's a little more oil on the lane. I spoke with Tony Westlake, our tournament leader. He says the oil's farther down the lane. The PBA players don't have any control of that. That's the maintenance crew. That's their call. And so it's made a little tougher shot, but these two guys coming in the championship match are two of the toughest competitors on all the Pro Tour, and it'll be a great final match.
You picked out favorites in the Hollywood Gold Cup coming up on Wide World. Who do you pick in the final game?
Well, I have to go with Norm Duke. I think Norm has got one game under his belt. Tony Westlake is still thinking about, he's never won from the #1 position. But I think if it comes down to throwing one ball for all the money, I'll let Tony Westlake throw for me anytime. So it's the job for Westlake is to stay close in the match, and not that Norm Duke will back off. These guys are tough players, and these are the kind of players that even all the top other players on the tour respect. You don't want any part of these guys. So for one shot, I'll go with Westlake, as long as Duke doesn't wipe him out in the early going.
Okay. Hanging it out on the edge, and last minute 10-pin going out.
Little love tap on the 6 into the 10 for Norm Duke. And Chris, you've done a lot of football. This is Texas versus Oklahoma. Is that any kind of rivalry?
That brings back a lot of memories, and I think of my pal Darrell Royal and Bud Wilkinson and Chuck Fairbanks, host of others. Good rivalry. And our director Larry Cam will be going to football soon. First, though, he's taking an extended vacation before he goes to Cuba.
Will be missed as we see the ideal form of Tony Westlake. Just everything inside out. Watch both of these players. They know how to do it.
In his 20 telecasts, he has lost his first game 13 times. This is the first time he's been in the catbird seat, as Red Barber used to say. And the top spot.
Bowling's #1 average player, 1991, 219.
Didn't get the 10 that time on the right line.
Said the scores were good last year. Our defending champion, Mark Baker, could not defend his title because of back surgery. As you see the release of Norm Duke. Swings out wide to the channel. 6 goes around the 10. It will be a spare.
Defending champion here, Mark Baker.
Back surgery, Chris. We know he bowled just terrific last year. And another one of the top players undergoing surgery is Mike Miller, the man who won the national championship, the no-thumb delivery knee surgery. So 2 top players off the tour right now. They're looking to come back in the fall. But 8 frames left in this one. 2 of the best.
Duke striking the third. Mark and Leo Franks providing a good setting for all of the bowlers. In fact, they had a scramble on Monday here, golf scramble, and these men with extraordinary hand-eye coordination did really well. In fact, one professional, John Forst, had a hole-in-one. All right, a three-bagger. Tony Westlake, the best pure outside player on the tour. We ask why he's such an exceptional player from that angle.
From the time I was 12, Bo, my parents ran a bowling center, and we had a gutter shot, so I ended up playing the first 2 or 3 boards every week or every night in the league, and that's how you learn how to play it for 8 straight years. That's what I did.
All right, a 4-bagger for the tournament leader from the City of Roses, Portland. Championship match, leading by 30, Tony Westlake.
This 4th of July, find a Budman inside packages of Budweiser, Bud Light, and Bud Dry Draft.
Man, are we going to spend the 4th box up in here? No!
You could win one of thousands of prizes.
What kind of prizes you guys got?
I got a Jeep.
All right. Hey, I got a towel. Oh. Okay, I got a plan. Toss the towel in the Jeep and pick me up. Uh-oh. Hey, she got the Jeep. Okay, plan B. We raid the snack aisle. Nothing beats a Bud Man.
How do I know where to get my brakes done right?
Come to Midas. You get a lot of value for the price, plus peace of mind, knowing the job will be done right. That's why more people come to us for brakes, knowing that nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
No better way to face the day.
The morning belongs to Skin Bracer Aftershave. Its cool, brisk tingle really gets you going. And what a great scent. Skin Bracer.
No better way to face the day. Fine day.
Our tournament leader, Tony Westlake, is stringing them here at Hollywood Bowl in Portland, Oregon in the championship match against Norm Duke. Duke opened with a strike, Mark with a spare, strike up shooting in the 4th. Ooh, the high hit of avoiding the split, but left the 4-7.
Right-hand lane been hooking just a pinch more than the left-hand lane all day long. You see the 4-7-10 standing momentarily. The 6 gives it a little nudge, leaves an easy spare for Norm Duke, who's going to fall behind by 30 pins through 4.
Best telecast of the year. A 3rd, a 4th, a victory, Bud Light, 2nd in the PBA Nationals. And he has $84,115 earned thus far. Not that active on the spring tour, but here he is in Portland, a chance to win it. Buddies meeting Tony Westlake, who is perfect through 4 frames.
Offline from the get-go. You could see him pull the ball inside the first arrow. The 3, 6, 9, 10 spare. Difficult shot. You see the ball not getting quite as wide towards the channel. The sharp break. Duke has to send the ball down the right-hand channel here. Take a chance. Get the ball right in this area. Drive that 3 into the 9.
Just did. Mark with that spare. Norman Duke, originally from Fort Worth, Texas, now bowling out of Albuquerque.
Good lesson to be learned as Tony Westlake puts a little piece of tape in his finger hole. His speed control from the outside. He is as good as I think there can be from that line. To watch him throw a little extra speed on this shot to really put the nail in the coffin. Falls to his knees. He thought that was absolutely perfect. Solid 9. Terrible break.
Last year, 5 telecasts for Tony, 4 of them in 6-week period.
Watch the pin action. Ball it just goes right through these 3-pound, 6, 7, and 8-ounce pins. No deflection. He leaves the 9.
Tony was 3rd last year right here in Portland. Also at the Showboat in Atlantic City, 2nd in the Firestone, 4th in the U.S. Open, 5th at Fairlanes. His 2 victories, Greater Hartford in '88 and El Paso, '89.
Sponsored by Richard Altman, the host of our Choice Hotels Classic, August 3rd here in Edmond, Oklahoma on ABC television.
Go after 4 in a row and a spare. Another strike for Tony Westlake.
42-game tournament, 18 games of qualifying. McCune early, Monticelli peaked. Struggled in the finals. Bruce Hamilton, you'll watch that fella. He's good. Westlake took command on Friday, has led the tournament. Right now, he has Norm Duke behind by 33 pins.
All right, now he has set up a little bit of a foundation in the 6th. Be shooting in the 7th. Needs it.
One of the tough Texans on tour, match game players, as Tony Westlake is. Look at the Texans out here, Chris. Ballard, Ozio, Duke, Lawrence, Chris Warren, Mark Williams, McCordick, Dickinson, you can name them. How do they get so tough in Texas? Match play competition, and he needs a strike here.
All right. Setting Westlake's lead to 23, but Tony is up, strike working, shooting in the 7th frame.
I think if you talk to these two players, one from Oklahoma, this young man, a good match game player, the other from Texas, and I'll bet you they've bowled each other somewhere late in the evening for more money than this, so this is not just routine.
Tremendous respect for one another. And Norm even indicated that as we went away to a commercial. He looked up here and I just sort of a nod indicating he was bowling well, but he looked at Tony Westlake and with a big smile, he's bowling better.
See the player that plays the extreme outside line as well as anybody. Here's going to be his target right along the edge. He's going to slide right in this area. Obviously, he's right here. Watch the trajectory of that ball right along the edge with good ball speed.
A 32-year-old with a cool exterior. And let me tell you, don't play him at pool either.
Norm Duke looking at the lane. Now, he's talking about what Tony Westlake said in his interview. Square it up. They mean go straighter down the lane. So that's what Duke has to do on this lane right here, but not throw it too hard. This is a critical shot. I don't think he can win if he doesn't strike here.
Tony Westlake at 5'6", Norm Duke at 5'6".
219 average. Norm Duke leading the pack. Weber on the sidelines for 6 months. Deadeye, Deleye, Bell Ballard, and Miller's getting an operation, so he's out.
And a Texan is the money leader, $160,000, David Ozio.
Ballard, another Texan. Duke can throw his hat in that top 5 with a win here. How narrow that was to falling over. Actually, from the time the ball hits the head pin till the time the machine touches the pin is approximately 4 seconds. Let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Plenty of time. If the pin had been knocked over without the assist of the machine, it counts. If the machine knocks it over, it would have had to be reset.
Norm Duke.
Duke looking at the scoreboard. The best he can bowl is 225. Westlake going a 249 pace, a potential 279 a strike on this ball, and it's sayonara. .248 pace if he makes a spare would lock up the tournament with the spare. What a great game he's bowled. 4 strikes, a solid 9, 3 strikes, a solid 10. You just can't do it any better than that. He knows how to be a #1 player.
Tony Westlake, who defeated Norm Duke 238 to 202 in the final game last night to get into the top spot. And first time as the top seed, Tony Westlake.
Chris, they're going to finish in the order they started today.
That's rare. And Tony has a chance to break a jinx 20 telecasts, losing their first game 13 times.
Well, he's not going to have a chance to win a second today. He's locked it up. He'll be in the 240s. The best Duke can do is 225. You have a new Portland champion. 235, that's enough. He'll be at least a 10-pin winner.
And after being third here last year, Tony Westlake has upped considerably to be the champion. All right, back in New York City is another champion, our colleague Frank Gifford with this word. Frank?
Thank you very much, Chris. And coming up next on ABC's Wide World of Sports, live from Las Vegas, undefeated James Toney defends his IBF middleweight title against Reggie Johnson. We'll also have a report on Mike Tyson's victory last night against Razor Ruddy. Plus, the American Championship Racing Series continues with the running of the Hollywood Gold Cup. You'll see it live from Hollywood Park. Well, we have a little time. Let's go live to Dan Deerdorf for more in today's fight. He's in Las Vegas. Dan?
Okay, Frank, thank you. And, you know, really, it's an intriguing matchup this afternoon. And James Toney, we have a kid, really. He's only 22 years old. He's the youngest fighter to win a middleweight crown in over 50 years at 22 years of age. On the other side with Reggie Johnson, he's got one loss and one draw on his record, but those were back in 1985. So here's a guy who hasn't lost in 6 years. So it looks like a fun matchup for the IBF Middleweight Championship here in Las Vegas. Frank, back to you in New York.
Okay, Dan, we'll be with Dan Deerdorf shortly. But right now, we're going to return to Chris Schenkel right after this message. Stay with us.
What was that?
What was what?
I heard a noise.
Oh, it's not Nani.
Oh. There it is again.
What?
It's that noise again.
When you go back to sleep, I told you it's not Nani.
There's no mistaking that nut honey taste. Crisp flakes of corn smothered in sweet honey and roasted peanuts.
Now, I suppose that was nut and honey.
Nope.
Kellogg's nut and honey.
That was the milk.
Crunch.
Before you get on the road this summer, call for this coupon book. It's worth over $1,000 at places like Red Lobster, Alamo Rent-A-Car, and theme parks. And it's yours free when you reserve a room at any choice hotel like Quality, Comfort, Clarion, and Sleep. But call today. They're going fast.
Call 1-800-4CHOICE to reserve your room and free coupon book. Supplies are limited.
No better way to face the day. When the sun comes up, then I'm feeling fine. The AM surely is my favorite time.
The morning belongs to Speed Stick. It's what more men reach for. To prepare, to prevent, to protect. Speed Stick, 110% protection.
No better way to face the day. No better way to face the day.
Speed Stick, 110% protection.
Who needs all the rigmarole?
Face it, lots of places offer new tires.
I'm not going to hand my car over to just anyone.
But you got to ask yourself, who's going to back you better than Sears?
When they say it's guaranteed, it's guaranteed.
Right now, Sears SuperGuard 40 is at our lowest price of the season, only $21.88. Installed in just 60 minutes, 7 days a week. Come on, who's going to back you better than Sears?
Okay, here in the City of Roses, a lot of roses for the 5 players here in the Oregon Open. As you see, 18,000 for the winner, Tony Westlake, 235 to Norm Duke's 225. Win number 3. Tony, congratulations.
Thanks, Chris. It's been a great week here at Hollywood Bowl, and it really feels good. It's been a long time since I won last, and I've been in a big slump, and I hope it's over. I'd like to say hi to my mom, who's recovering from back surgery, and she's having a tough time right now, and I hope she starts feeling better.
Let's applaud for Mom. Come on. Okay, Mom, get better. We'll be back in a moment. Let's go to Nelson Burton Jr. for a comment from Norm Duke.
Thank you, Chris. Our runner-up, Norm Duke. By the way, you both sensational. Tony, excellent also. But the lanes also began to change.
They did. You know, the first game I bowled, it was pretty much high and hard and just get what you could. And they were becoming a little more playable, a little more readable. And I knew it, and I had to get my feet a little left and soften up and try to get the big game. And I didn't get there quick enough. And Tony just, I mean, what can you say? He got flushed every shot.
Had you ever bowled Tony for that much money before?
I tell you, if there's anybody in the world I've bowled for a lot of money, it'll be Tony. And I don't like it. I'd rather bowl some idiot.
Well, he paid tribute to a great champion. Tony Westlake went out and just won this tournament, Chris. Norm Duke did not lose. Back to you.
Yes, I made a cautionary remark. Don't play Tony Westlake at pool either. Mark Frank, who was our yacht driver on the Columbia River, also owns this place. Mark, welcome, and a trophy and a check for this nice Oklahoman.
Yes, on behalf of Hollywood Bowl and the rest of the bowlers here in Oregon, I'd like to present Tony with a check for $18,000. Thank you. He almost won it last year, and this year he came back and won it. He likes this place.
About that trophy?
It's about 50 pounds. It's made of marble, and if he wants to try to lift it, that's fine. Otherwise, we'll ship it back home to him.
Well, we dropped one eagle this year, Tony. We'll drop another, right?
I think I'll let UPS take care of it.
Third last year on that pair, and now victory today.
I thought I was going to win last year, and then I bowled Mark Baker, and I kind of got a little lackadaisical, and you can't do that bowling the best bowlers in the world. They're going to beat you if you do that, and this year I tried not to let that happen.
El Paso next week?
Yes, I'll be there.
Other than you, who's the best pool player on tour?
Joe Hutchinson is a lot better than I am. He doesn't bowl out here anymore, but I've seen him play a couple times. He's really good.
That's the biggest come-on I've heard. He's the best pool player around. Don't let anybody kid you. Congratulations, Tony. See you next week, Mark. Thank you. Okay, for Bo Burton, I'm Chris Schenkel. So long. The executive producer of ABC Sports Professional Bowlers Tour is Jack O'Hara. Produced by Carol Letty. Directed by Larry Camp. Technical Director, Michael Carmen. Associate Director, Manny A. Cabral. Operations Manager, Phil Annis. Assistant to the producer, Chris Schachter.
The Pro Bowlers Tour has been brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers, who reminds you, friends know when to say when. By Kellogg's, the best to you each morning. And by Non-Stick Friedent Gum. Non-Stick Friedent moistens your mouth and freshens your breath. This has been a presentation.
Following is a special presentation of